Ladies, let's talk shoes. Because if you're anything like me, you've probably noticed that once we reach a certain stage in life, let's say post 50, style begins to shift. Not because we have to dress a certain way or tone things down. No, not at all. But because we finally can dress in a way that truly reflects who we are. Refined, intentional, and quietly powerful. We've earned the right to leave behind the uncomfortable, the flashy, and the overly trendy. Our wardrobes should reflect our confidence, and nothing says confidence like wearing the right shoes. So today I want to walk you through 8 types of shoes elegant women over 50 should simply never wear. More importantly, I'll show you what to wear instead, because there are stunning, luxurious alternatives that still feel current and classic. We're aiming for old money elegance, not fleeting trends, quiet luxury, not chaos. Each shoe we'll retire together is a small step toward becoming your most polished, poised, and timeless self. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Chunky Platform Sneakers. The chunky sneaker trend. I know you've seen them, thick rubber soles, bulky silhouettes, and often more reminiscent of orthopedic shoes than anything remotely refined. Let's be honest, these sneakers may be comfortable, but they are not elegant. They break up the line of the leg and visually weigh you down, especially if you're wearing something sleek up top. Think about it. How many times have you slipped into an otherwise beautiful outfit only to have the whole look fall flat thanks to those clunky shoes? The issue here isn't just aesthetic, it's proportional. As we mature, the harmony of our silhouette becomes more important than ever. Chunky sneakers interrupt that harmony. They distract. And they certainly don't speak the language of quiet sophistication. So what do we wear instead? Opt for a slim, minimal luxury sneaker, like the Common Project's original Achilles leather sneakers. These are beloved by stylists and fashion insiders for a reason. The lines are clean, the branding is almost invisible, and they're beautifully constructed in Italy, so you still get that understated European polish. They look equally stunning with tailored ankle trousers, crisp white jeans, or even a midi dress when you're going for that relaxed luxury feel. Trust me, you'll feel elevated without sacrificing comfort. This is one of those subtle changes that makes a dramatic difference in how put together you look. Chapter 2. Flipflops. Yes, even the fancier ones. Now, this one might ruffle a few feathers, but let's talk about flip-flops. I know how tempting they are in warmer weather. They're easy, breezy, and you can slide into them without a second thought. But here's the truth. Rubber flip-flops, no matter how rhinestoned or designer branded they may be, have never been chic, especially when we're talking about elegant, over 50 style. Flip-flops flatten the foot, make your posture lazy, and offer zero support. And worse, they cheapen whatever else you're wearing. Even the most stunning silk dress can lose its magic when paired with plastic footwear. So what's the elevated alternative? Enter the ancient Greek sandals, Eleftheria leather sandals. These are handmade, minimal, and dripping in Mediterranean refinement. Think warm days in Santorini, walking along cobblestone alleys in soft, strappy leather. They're still flat, still breezy, but they're structured, intentional. They make it clear that you didn't just grab the first pair of shoes by the door, you curated your look. And when you pair them with a linen caftan or a white sundress, you'll look like you've just returned from a month in the Amalfi Coast. Effortless elegance, always. Chapter 3. Overly pointy heels. Once upon a time, pointy toe heels were the epitome of elegance. They were sharp, commanding, a little bit sexy. But like many things, too much of a good thing can start to feel off. Overly pointy heels, especially those extreme silhouettes we saw in the early 2000s, can now feel harsh and out of sync with a modern, refined wardrobe. They also tend to elongate the foot in a way that's not always flattering, particularly if you have high arches or wider feet. And let's not forget the comfort, or lack thereof. As we get older, many of us begin to experience changes in foot shape, sensitivity, or balance. Why punish yourself in shoes that pinch and squeeze, all in the name of fashion. Here's the upgrade: the Aquazzura Purist 50 Suede Pumps. These pumps are the definition of understated luxury. They feature a softer almond toe, still elongating but far more gentle. The heel is slender but manageable, giving you that bit of lift without sacrificing stability. And the suede? It's plush, rich, and far more flattering than high-shine patent leather. These shoes are incredibly versatile. Wear them with wide-leg trousers, an elegant sheath dress, or even dark denim and a tailored blazer for a city chic look. And yes, I've linked them in the description below so you don't have to go hunting for the right pair. Trust me, once you try these on, you'll wonder why you ever endured those overly pointy toe boxes in the first place. So far, we've retired 3 of the most common culprits in the closet of any once trendy woman: the clunky sneaker, the beachy flip-flop, and the painful pointed heel. But we're just getting started. What comes next? Well, let's just say we're going to have a little talk about loud logos, combat boots, and shoes that collapse before you even leave the house. Chapter 4: Overly Trendy Logo Slides. Let's have a heart-to-heart about logo slides. You've seen them. Maybe you've owned a pair. Thick, rubbery soles. A giant 55 or double G plastered across the front like a billboard. And that sense of fashion that leans a little too heavily on visibility. Now I completely understand the appeal. They're easy. Slip on and go. They give the illusion of high fashion without much effort. You've likely seen them on celebrities sauntering through airports or posing on yachts, effortlessly unbothered, iced coffee in one hand, designer bag in the other. But here's the thing. Elegance doesn't beg for attention. It commands it. Softly, effortlessly, and without a single scream. Logo slides, especially those made from rubber or plasticky material, simply don't align with the refined, polished aesthetic we're cultivating at this stage in life. They feel juvenile, try-hard, and unfortunately, more trendy than tasteful. And trends, as we know, come and go. We are not walking advertisements. We are women who know our worth, and we don't need a logo stretched across our instep to announce it. So, what's the upgrade? Trade those logo-heavy sandals for something sculptural, quiet, and beautifully made, like the Cole Haan leather mules. Now these are the shoes of a woman who vacations in Lake Como, not South Beach. A woman who reads the Financial Times over espresso. A woman who knows quality when she sees it. Crafted from supple leather with a subtly architectural shape, the Cole Haan mule is the epitome of minimalist luxury. There are no loud brand names here, just smooth lines, perfect proportions, and craftsmanship that speaks for itself. They slip on just as easily as slides, but the effect? Worlds apart. With these, you're not just throwing something on, you're completing an outfit with intention. Style them with crisp linen trousers that skim the ankle, or a pleated midi skirt in a soft, neutral tone. They also pair beautifully with a head-to-toe monochrome lounge set, think creamy cashmere or fine-ribbed cotton, for elevated travel days or elegant days off. What I love most is the message these shoes send, that you value quiet confidence over loud statements, that your luxury is not performative, it's personal, and that you dress not for the attention of others, but for the woman you've become. Chapter 5: Chunky Combat Boots. Now, let's address a style staple that's hard to ignore but easy to outgrow: chunky combat boots. These boots have had quite the cultural run, first with rebellious teens in the 90s, then back again during the Instagram fashion wave, worn with floaty floral dresses and oversized sweaters. They've been styled to death by influencers, streetwear icons, and fast fashion lovers. But for the refined woman over 50, they pose more problems than they solve. Combat boots are visually heavy. They add bulk around the ankle, cut off your leg line at an unflattering point, and dominate your entire outfit. They don't complement, they compete. And worse, they often send a message of edgy rebellion when what we really want is understated composure. You see, these boots are built for stomping, not gliding. And you, my dear, are made to glide. This doesn't mean you have to give up practicality or comfort. Quite the opposite. You simply need a pair of shoes that combine structure with softness, functionality with finesse. Enter the Talbot's Walk loafers, the definition of refined ease. These loafers are a favorite among those who understand real luxury, the kind that doesn't shout, doesn't trend hop, and certainly doesn't sacrifice quality for gimmicks. Made in Italy from velvety suede or butter-soft nubuck leather, the Summer Walk loafer molds to your foot in the most graceful way. The silhouette is streamlined, elegant, and supportive, without being stiff or clunky. These aren't just shoes. They're the embodiment of that old money energy we're aiming for. Calm, collected, and impossibly chic. They're also endlessly versatile. Wear them with tailored cropped trousers and a tucked-in silk blouse for city errands, or pair them with a pleated skirt and lightweight knit for the weekend escapes to the countryside. You can even wear them with wide-leg jeans and a blazer for a fresh take on modern prep. Unlike combat boots, which demand attention, these loafers invite admiration. They enhance your look without overwhelming it. And isn't that the goal? What makes them especially ideal is how effortlessly they fit into the rhythm of real life. You can walk for hours in them without feeling weighed down. And unlike a clunky boot, they transition seamlessly from casual to elevated depending on your outfit. More importantly, they reflect how you carry yourself, grounded, graceful, and unmistakably refined. So let's leave the heavy boots to the 22-year-olds with TikTok styling tutorials. You're in your element now. Choose shoes that rise to meet you there. Chapter 6. Ballet flats with no structure. Now, this one might surprise you. Ballet flats are often seen as a classic, and in theory, they are. But in practice, most ballet flats on the market are flimsy, shapeless, and, dare I say, depressing. You've seen them. Thin soles, no arch support, and the tendency to collapse at the heel after a few wears. They may look dainty, but they don't do your feet or your style any favors. Let's be honest. A shoe that flattens out and offers no support doesn't align with the elegant woman you are today. You deserve structure. You deserve grace. You deserve a flat that holds its shape and holds its own next to a Max Mara coat or a beautiful Celine tote. So what's the refined replacement? Try the Manolo Blahnik BB Suede Ballet Flats. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aren't those a little bright? And yes, they are. But they're not flashy. They're romantic. The structure of the shoe gives it purpose. The embellishment gives it presence. This isn't a flat that fades into the background. It finishes your outfit with intention. And don't worry, they're not just for evenings. I've worn mine with a cashmere wrap coat during the day and felt more polished than in any pair of heels. They instantly elevate the simplest outfit. Even a monochrome turtleneck and wool trousers combo feels utterly elegant with these on your feet. The takeaway here is simple. You can be comfortable, feminine, and flat-footed without looking like your shoes gave up on you. So far, we've cleared out 6 types of shoes from the closet. And doesn't it feel good? We've retired the clunky sneakers, the rubber flip-flops, the overly pointy heels, the shouty logo slides, the combat boots, and the collapse-prone ballet flats. Each change we've made so far isn't about restricting your choices. It's about refining them. Curating a wardrobe that supports the elegant life you're building. A wardrobe that mirrors your grace, your experience, and your exquisite taste. But we're not quite finished. In the next section, we'll discuss 2 final shoe types that can undermine your entire look and the stunning alternatives that bring everything together in the most timeless way. Because being elegant over 50 isn't about playing it safe. It's about knowing what works and letting go of what doesn't. Shall we continue? Chapter 7. Wedge sneakers. Now this one is a bit of a guilty pleasure for many women. Wedge sneakers were everywhere a few years ago, an attempt to combine the comfort of a sneaker with the flattering lift of a heel. On paper, it sounds ideal. But in reality, they rarely live up to that promise. Here's the thing. Wedge sneakers tend to look confused. They're not sporty, not elegant, not casual, not dressy. They just sort of exist in this awkward middle space. And while they may add height, they also add bulk. The hidden heel pushes your posture forward unnaturally and disrupts the clean lines of your outfit. And let's not forget, they feel outdated. An elegant woman over 50 deserves better. You deserve shoes that lift your look, not just your heel. So, what's the refined, fashion-forward alternative? Slip into the Stuart Weitzman slingback heels in black. Yes, they've been around for decades, but that's what makes them brilliant. The two-tone design elongates the leg while adding just enough contrast to keep things visually interesting. The heel is low and blocky, making them perfect for everyday wear. But the effect is pure sophistication. You can pair them with wide-leg trousers and a silk blouse for day or a tweed shift dress for evening. They're as timeless as they are flattering. In fact, if you were to only invest in one pair of heels this year, this would be the one I'd recommend. The key takeaway here is this: choose shoes that know exactly what they are. You don't need gimmicks to feel tall. You just need structure, elegance, and a shoe that actually fits the life you lead today. Chapter 8. Shiny patent leather in loud colors. And finally, let's talk about the elephant in the closet: shiny patent leather shoes in bright, shouty colors. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently wrong with loving color. I love a bold accessory as much as anyone. But shiny fire engine red pumps, metallic purple kitten heels, or lime green loafers in patent leather? These tend to draw attention in all the wrong ways. Patent leather amplifies whatever color it holds. So if the shade is already loud, the shine makes it scream. It can quickly go from bold to brash, and elegance is never brash. These kinds of shoes also tend to look very trend-driven, and unfortunately, trends don't always translate well once we've matured into our more elevated selves. So instead of shiny and screaming, let's go for structured and sculptural. Try something like the Totem leather ankle boots. They're understated, but make no mistake, they are powerful. Crafted from smooth, high-quality leather in rich, neutral tones like espresso or ivory, these boots have weight. They command a room, but not with noise, with presence. And the best part? They go with everything. You can wear them with a long wool coat and trousers for fall, or with a mid-length silk skirt and knit turtleneck in cooler months. They're endlessly versatile, and they'll never feel dated. And yes, I've linked these in the description below so you don't have to guess which silhouette or brand to look for. This isn't just about removing the tacky or outdated from your closet. It's about inviting in pieces that reflect you, your grace, your confidence, your story. So there we have it, my elegant friends. We've walked through 8 types of shoes that no longer serve the refined woman you've become. And we've discovered beautiful, luxurious replacements that do more than just look good. They speak for you. To recap, we traded in chunky sneakers for sleek common projects. We swapped rubber flip-flops for minimalist ancient Greek sandals. We replaced sharp, outdated stilettos with the elegant Aquazzura almond toe pumps. We let go of logo-heavy slides in favor of Kitey's Cole Haan leather mules. We said goodbye to combat boots and stepped into Talbot's loafers. We tossed the flimsy ballet flats and chose the Manolo Blahnik BB suede ballet flats, supportive, sophisticated, and feminine. We elevated ourselves from Wedge sneakers to the forever chic Stuart Weitzman slingback heels. And we traded shiny, shouty patent colors for the sculpted elegance of Toteme ankle boots. Each of these swaps isn't just about the shoe, it's about how the shoe makes you feel. When your shoes are thoughtfully chosen, your whole outfit transforms. Your posture changes. Your energy shifts. You feel more grounded, more graceful, more yourself. That's the real secret of elegant dressing. It's not about dressing up. It's about dressing in alignment with who you are and where you're headed. And here's something I want you to remember. You are allowed to invest in yourself. Whether that means a pair of timeless pumps, a handcrafted leather boot, or simply editing out pieces that no longer bring you joy. Your style journey doesn't end at 50. In fact, for many of us, it finally begins. So take a moment to go through your closet. Look at the shoes waiting in the shadows. Ask yourself, Do they represent the woman I am today? Or the one I was trying to be 10 years ago? And then, take one step, just one, in a more refined direction. Because becoming the most elegant version of yourself doesn't happen all at once. It happens one choice at a time. If you found this guide helpful, I'd love to know, what's the first pair of shoes you're saying goodbye to today? And which elegant upgrade are you most excited to try? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you're ready to take your entire wardrobe to a more refined level, don't forget, I've linked all the pieces I mentioned right in the description. These are timeless, trustworthy, and totally worth the investment. Until next time, walk with grace, dress with intention, and never forget, true elegance begins at any age, but it flourishes when you own it.